Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Hello, kids. I hope you're having a good day today because your day is about to get a whole lot worse. Now, earlier this morning, because it's before noon, I was just minding my business on the YouTube app, just scrolling by, listening to some Dance Gavin Dance covers, when I saw an ad. It wasn't a pre-roll or a mid-roll or a post-roll ad that you normally see in a video. It was one of those ads that show up in your homepage on the app, and the title was a little bit concerning. I mean, I'll just show it to you here and you can read it for yourself. And I thought that was a little bit strange, but I didn't really care about it at the time until I kept scrolling and kept seeing ads from this channel that were honestly kind of annoying, and I was about to go and block the channel from being able to show ads to me because I just didn't want to see it anymore until I went on my Twitter feed and I had seen that other people are getting these ads too, because, you know, when you advertise to someone, a lot of people can see the ads. That's how ads work. And I thought, something's fishy here. So I wanted to investigate this channel called Classically Abby. Now, the classical and Classically Abby is sort of kind of similar to the whole tradwife movement, but I think it's different. I don't really care to find out the difference. It makes no difference to me. It's basically the same. But there's been something going on that's a little strange to me. I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watch a lot of YouTube on my phone, so I can lay in bed or walk around the house or do whatever instead of being chained to my computer chair for entertainment. And I don't have an ad blocker on my phone. I have an ad blocker on my computer, but I don't usually watch YouTube on my computer, so it's fine. And I've been getting a surprising amount of conservative ads, specifically this one from this channel, and a lot of Donald Trump advertisement. I really don't know why. It's so strange. I think whoever is running Trump's ad campaign is just like sending it out to all demographics. They like don't care, because usually ads are targeted, and I'm not a conservative, if you were wondering, and so it's kind of strange that I'd be seeing conservative advertisement. And this is just another example of that. So, I'm gonna show a picture of Abby, little Abigail here, and you may notice that she looks kind of familiar. I can't put my finger on it. She looks like somebody, but I don't know who it is or who it might be. Well, whatever, we'll put that on the back burner. But first, I have some notes. Yes, that's correct. I have 3 pages of notes. I wrote notes for this video. I will admit, after watching some of her choice videos, I have become a little, let's say, tilted about her content. I'm letting this woman live rent-free in my head, and it's getting to me, I guess you could say. Let's just run down some basic facts about old Abby. Her name is Abby Roth. Her maiden name is Shapiro. I don't know if she goes by Abby Roth or Abby Shapiro because all of her social media presence is just Classically Abby. Surprisingly, even with all of her conservative views and her classical viewpoints, she's not a Christian. She's actually Jewish, which, honestly, I guess it makes sense. People of all ethnicities and backgrounds could be conservative. There are black conservatives out there. It's confusing, but they exist. But she's Jewish, not Christian. However, I will say, there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. I'm not as familiar with Jewish values as I am with Christian values, but just know that they're not different, really, at all. They believe, well, at least from Abby's point of view, I would say they believe pretty much the same things. She lives presumably in Omaha, Nebraska, and I will say, this is just information that I gleaned from her social media presence. For example, recently she said something about living in Omaha on her Twitter page. I'll put it up here. So I'm not doxing this woman. She could live in Omaha somewhere else, but the only Omaha that I know of is Omaha, Nebraska. She's married because of course she is. These conservative ladies, they just love to be shackled up as soon as they possibly can. I mean, it's one of their core values to get married and have kids, so like that's not really surprising to me at all. She is a opera singer, which is kind of the least interesting part of her personality and like online presence. She has some YouTube videos of her like singing opera songs, but like I don't care. Like, okay, cool, you're an opera singer, go off queen. That's not what I'm here for. She takes out ads for her video. Now her YouTube channel doesn't have that many subscribers. I forgot how many exactly she has, but I'll put it up on the screen. Her videos also don't get that many views. They get a few here and there. Her most viewed video maybe has like 100,000 and her least viewed video has like 500. So it's a range. You will see though that the videos she takes ads out on, they definitely have more views, but they also have a busted like to dislike ratio. I mean, just look at this. This is honestly laughable. And the comments, oh my goodness, the comments, they are so funny. The best entertainment there is to be found out there, but we'll get to that later. These ads that she takes out is how I found her and why I'm making this video. I'm assuming she's going the Donald Trump route and just advertising to like anybody, like all demographics. I'm not really sure how much that would cost. Just as like a courtesy, I guess, I looked up how much it would be to take out advertising on YouTube. I didn't really, well, I did get a clear answer, but I wasn't able to like calculate it. But I also just don't care, so we're not gonna really focus on it. Well, that's really all that's there to see about her. I mean, I keep looking at her and I just, there's something, I can't put my finger on it. It's just her face. I don't know, I almost feel like I'm going to be destroyed by facts and logic. And that's basically a way to say that, yes, this is female Ben Shapiro, and not only is it female Ben Shapiro, but it's actually Ben Shapiro's sister. Ben Shapiro has a sister, and she also makes content on YouTube and elsewhere. She's not as successful as her brother, but she does have just as many bad takes as him. So, you know, it's good to have a family where just everybody gets along and has the same views and just can, you know, vibe together. You know, not everybody has that, but Miss Abigail, she does have that. So for this video, I want to be going through a few of her videos. I downloaded 6, but I only watched 5. One of them that I'm not going to watch is like 17 minutes long, and I just don't think I can sit through 17 minutes of her bad takes. Like 5 minutes is too much. 2 minutes. One of these videos is 2 minutes, and 2 minutes is just entirely too long, and I do not have the stamina. I'm lacking the stamina for that. I took some notes on her videos. I have these notes here. And I mean, what else is there left to do but to jump right into it? I will be inserting some clips here and there just to better illustrate my points, I guess. No, I did not give Miss Abigail any of my ad dollars. I downloaded the videos. I only clicked on them to see the dates that they were uploaded. So don't worry, Abigail is not getting any of my money. So the first video that I watched is one called It's Okay to Love America. As far as I know, this one hasn't been an advertisement, at least I haven't seen it. And it's basically a video she posted on the 30th of June, so a few days before the 4th of July, just saying like,
oh, you guys, you know, everybody is hating America right now, but it's okay to love America. You don't have to feel bad for it.
And that's essentially what she says, but I have a few more points written down. Also, this video that she did, none of the other videos that I watched of hers, of the 5 that I did watch, were sponsored, but this one was. It's a little surprising, I guess, that she would get sponsored content even though her videos don't get that many views. And who knows, maybe her putting ads on her videos or marking her videos as ads is just a ploy to get more views, to get more sponsored content. It was for some conservative magazine, it doesn't really matter, but I just thought that was interesting, and maybe because she is, you know, Abigail Shapiro, there might be some nepotism involved, you know, like, oh, Ben Shapiro, he's too expensive to put ads on, but Abby, his sister, cheap, let's do it. Obviously, that's all conjecture and hearsay. I don't know if that's really the case. That's just me speculating. In the sort of kind of beginning of the video, she hypes up the liberty that America was founded on and makes no mention that that liberty was only for white male landowners and says we should be proud of that point. And that is just a bad take. I mean, is there even really anything to say about that? If you're a white male landowner, like a lot of the founding fathers were, then sure, yeah, liberty from taxes. Liberty from taxes, I never even brought that together, but you know, these white guys just did not want to pay their taxes. That's literally why America exists. Goodness, I can't believe I'd never made that connection before. Even though, you know, 5th grade, the whole taxation without representation thing was drilled into our heads, but I just never made that connection. I had a brain blast there, and you just witnessed it. She says, with her whole chest, by the way, that the country was founded on the principle that all men are created equally. And if you have been paying attention to literally anything in the past, I don't know, month, 2 months, your entire life, you will see that that's just not true. It's just not true. Like at all. And this is a theme in a lot of Miss Abigail's videos. I don't know why I keep calling her Miss Abigail, but whatever. We're gonna call her that. She'll make a point, but also ignore the fact that that point just isn't true at all. But she says it with such conviction that it makes it seem like the point is true. Like she has some kind of authority on making points. Like I could say some really wacky stuff with enough conviction that makes it seem like it's true. That doesn't mean it's true. And that's just a theme of all of her videos, and honestly conservatives in general. She also says, with her whole chest, that America stands for freedom when it doesn't. Like, I'm not even talking about just like Americans having bad things happen to them. We literally have kids in cages. That's not a whole lot of freedom, Abigail. I don't know how you can ignore that. Like, what? Explain that. Like, make it make sense. I'm at a loss for words at how she can say these things and pretend like they're true. She also says, she doesn't say this outright word for word, but she basically implies that the founding fathers owned slaves, but it's okay because they made America.
Our forefathers were great men who were flawed, who made bad choices, who made mistakes, and still were able to come back from it, and still were able to do great things.
But basically what she says is that, oh, you know, the founding fathers, they made some mistakes, but they were still good people. And I feel like that could be equated to a whole lot of bad people who made mistakes and are still good people. So the next video that I watched is one called, let's see, Ladies, Stop Hooking Up. Gosh, ladies, why can't you just stop hooking up? So aside from bad takes about America, she has bad takes about feminism. Who is surprised? She is a classical wife after all. This video was posted on the 2nd of April of this year. I think she started this channel this year, or at least last year. She doesn't have that many videos. She equates empowerment with hooking up early on in her video, and she implies that our society that we live in says that the only way to be empowered is by hooking up, which is just false. She's just saying lies. She's just lying at this point. Like, I don't think anybody is saying that the singular way that a woman can be empowered is by hooking up. That's just one of the many ways that women can be empowered. Basically, the bottom line for female empowerment is doing whatever you want without, you know, society saying, hey, you shouldn't do that. Basically, empowerment is the opposite of what Miss Abigail is saying. And, you know, I find that to be a little wacky. I'm sure you won't be surprised to learn that she isn't a feminist, because of course she isn't. She's a classical wife. She implies that sex is actively impeding good relationships in marriage, which is a really harmful thing to think about, or to say rather. There's an analogy that is used quite often and very harmfully. It wasn't done while I was in sex ed, because real talk, I legit don't remember any kind of comprehensive sex ed that I had in high school or middle school or even elementary school, which is kind of sad. But an analogy that a lot of abstinence-only sex ed teachers will use is that women who sleep around a lot are like a chewed up piece of gum. Every time she has sex with someone, she gets chewed, which, I mean, if you're into that, go off. But back to the point. Basically what they're saying is after they're done, sleeping around, and once they're ready to get, like, married, that nobody's gonna want a chewed up piece of gum, that, who's gonna want gum that's been in everybody's mouth. And that's a really, really harmful thing to say, saying that just because you sleep around, you're essentially worthless. That's what they're saying. That's what Miss Abigail is also saying. But she's not, she's not saying it, she's implying it. It's almost like a dog whistle. It's exactly what it is. It's a dog whistle. Oh, she dismisses that people are just horny sometimes. She lists the reasons that women might want to have sex. It's because she cares about the guy and doesn't want him to get away, or I'll put up the clip.
Maybe you want to hook up with a guy because you care about him and you don't want to let him get away. Sleeping with him is the easiest way for him to take you and your feelings for granted. Holding out will tell you whether he's willing to wait and will tell him that you're worth waiting for. I've seen it happen before. Maybe you want to have sex with a guy you really like and can see having a future with. Hooking up with him could mask all of the problems in your relationship that would lead to your eventual breakup and just prolong the inevitable. Sex will only muddy the waters and prevent you from making a clear-headed decision. Maybe you want to have sex with someone because you're lonely, and it will fill up the time until you meet the right person. Having sex with the wrong person is the easiest way to prolong your loneliness, since you'll be too distracted to find Mr. Right.
And she does include the fact that, sometimes it's fun, but that's kind of like an aside. Also, she says that, sleeping around might be fun, but you know what's not fun? Babies, STDs, etc.
Maybe you want to have sex because, hey, it's fun. You know what's not fun? STDs, pregnancy scares, waking up next to someone you have no emotional connection with, and wasting your time.
And she just completely misses the point that, number one, birth control exists. Number two, there are ways to prevent getting STDs. Where's the logic? I'm not being destroyed by facts and logic here. There are no facts or logic to be found. Miss Shapiro, you're going to need to step up if you're going to compete with your brother, okay? She says that promiscuity often just leads to regret, and forgets that some women just like having sex. Oh, and this goes back to the other point that I made before, but she implies that women who sleep around don't respect their bodies, which is very close to the chewed up gum analogy, Yeah, everybody wants to be a pristine piece of gum, which really is a really weird equation to make, because gum was meant to be chewed. Like, I really don't understand the logic behind the chewed up gum analogy to begin with, but we're going to move on to her next video, coming out conservative. Now this is the one that I saw on Twitter, and this is also one that I've seen advertised to me. I'm pretty sure I have a screenshot of it. If I don't, then there's just the Twitter screenshot that I saw. And this one is problematic for a number of reasons. The fact that she says she's coming out conservative, firstly, you're co-opting the language of LGBT people to say that you're coming out as a conservative, which isn't, the equation is not there. Coming out as a conservative is not the same as coming out as being LGBT, it's not the same. And to me, it almost feels like she's, in a really sly way, kind of making fun of people who, come out because, she's downplaying the issue.
Well, I'm a little trapped. Classic life. And I'm coming out as conservative. Oh my goodness, I'm going to face so much backlash for being conservative.
And really, the only backlash she's going to face from that is because she has bad takes, not because she's a conservative and holds conservative views. Honestly, I wouldn't really care that she's a conservative if she didn't have such bad takes. Also, just even before we get into the video, the idea that Ben Shapiro's literal sister has to come out as conservative is a really, just a wacky idea to have, because like it's implied that you're a conservative. I mean, it would be honestly more, you know, groundbreaking or surprising if you came out as being a liberal, because that would have came out of nowhere. You know, oh, Ben Shapiro, his sister, she's a lib. Can you believe that? But that's not the case. So, onto the actual video. There's not really a whole lot to be said about this video. It's just that, you know, oh, conservatives are oppressed. They need to be saved from society or something like that. You know, the video is like 6 minutes long, and it's her just basically talking about nothing, about how conservatives are oppressed and how, you know, conservatives, we need to rise up. Actually, we'll get to that one very soon. Oh, and one really just, wacky thing that she says, which, okay, I don't doubt that she thinks this way, but she says that she lives in fear for being a conservative. Like, her life is so not in danger from being a conservative. Even if she wasn't a conservative, her life is still just like so not in danger. Like, I don't know what danger you think you're in, Miss Abigail, but whatever danger you think you're in, you're really not in it. Where's the danger? I'm looking, I don't see any danger. I would argue that I am more in danger than she is, and I am, according to her, going by the status quo, because she likes to say that conservatism and the classical lifestyle is like going against the status quo, when in reality, it's not. Again, she'd just be lying. That's the bottom line. She also has a story about being in music school, which, I mean, she went to some New York music school to learn how to be an opera singer, and it's just like, the privilege is leaking out of that statement. I'll show it for you.
It was a really big lesson for me when I was at the Manhattan School of Music, because I was there for 3 years, and it wasn't until I came out and said that I was conservative that I found out that there were actually more of us than I thought. But we had all kept it secret because we were all afraid of expressing that we actually had a differing viewpoint.
But she says during that time that she felt just so ostracized for being a conservative, and it's like, girl, no you didn't. Like, come on, shut up, just stop talking, please. Also, she's being bankrolled by other classical women like her, because apparently her channel has, you know, like a channel membership. I don't think she has a Patreon. I'm pretty sure she takes out ads on her video. I don't know. That's where her money is coming from, and her lawyer husband, which, listen, okay, I'm usually not a person to say that, oh, this woman's husband is funding her lifestyle, but let's be real, it is. I mean, who knows? She may be a working opera singer, and that might be providing her some money, but she's also being bankrolled by her viewers and her sponsorships that she gets from other conservative magazines, stuff like that. The coming out as conservative one, it's very inflammatory, but the video itself is just like super boring. She's not really saying anything. She's not making any points. She's just having more bad takes. The wackiest video that I think she has made, just from the tone of it, I think this video, just from like, it's really short, it's only 2 minutes, and the way it's edited and the inspiring music that's going on behind it, like in the background, I think this was meant to be an ad of some sort. I don't think I've gotten this particular one as an ad, but it just has a real Facebook ad vibe. Like, I'm not even on Facebook, but I know that Facebook ads they just hit different, you know? And that's really what this one feels like. The title of this video is Conservatives, It's Our Time. We need to take back the culture. What culture she's talking about, I really don't know, but it really sounds like, you know, she's having a gamers rise up moment, and you know what, good for her. I think we're all allowed to have a gamers rise up moment, and you know what, she was just having her moment. She was feeling herself, she was sowing her oats. I'm gonna let her have it. I'm gonna let her have it for now. But basically, it's just another, oh, you know, conservatives, we're oppressed type of video. Not really saying a whole lot, but saying a lot at the same time. Just talking about nothing, just spitting air out her mouth, essentially. She says that conservative women are the backbone of society, which I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I just thought that was a really funny statement, that conservative women are the backbone of society. I don't think so, you know, no ma'am, that's not that ain't it. That's really all there is to say about that video. There's not a whole lot. So the last video of hers that I viewed, it was also an ad that I got, and it's kind of a yikes one, you know? It's kind of like, oh, did she really just say that? Like, ugh. The title of that video is Why You Shouldn't #Believe All Women. And this video was posted May 6th of this year, not that long ago. I'm not really sure what this was caused by, because if you don't know, the Believe All Women movement came forward as Brett Kavanaugh was being interviewed, or whatever the process is for him to become a Supreme Court justice. And as you know, even though he had a pretty credible source saying that, yeah, he did sexually assault this woman, he ended up going to the Supreme Court anyways, and now he's gonna be there till he dies, or retires. Probably until he dies, though. And that, not very good. Not a good thing that happened. Not our proudest moment in US history, but it happened. And she's saying that, you know what, we shouldn't believe all women. And also, Miss Abigail likes to point out that she constantly gets called an anti-woman. She doesn't say anti-woman, but you get what I mean. Like, you know, not a real woman, because she doesn't stand up for other women, and I'm compelled to agree with them. I don't know how, like, I don't know what the, like, cognitive dissonance is there, where you can be a woman and be aware of the struggles of women and actively be against those struggles. Like, I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how that can happen, but it happens, and it's especially happening with good old Abigail. First off, this video, huge yikes, tremendous yikes, like, oof, a whole lot going on there. And first and foremost, she gets the purpose of the hashtag very, very wrong. She's saying that the Believe All Women hashtag is saying that, you know, guilty until proven innocent, basically. No due process, we should just believe women. Like, if someone says something happened to them, it did happen, and we should just forget all of the evidence, which isn't the case at all. Basically, what we're saying in Believe All Women is that a lot of women, they aren't believed when they come out as having been sexually assaulted for a really long time, and even now, because Abigail is perpetuating this idea, women just weren't believed. And even if due process was applied to the situation, women still weren't believed. And it's like an issue that we're facing. And we're not saying to throw away due process. That would be ridiculous. If we throw away due process, there won't be any justice. I mean, even with due process, there still isn't justice, but stay with me here. We're not saying that we should just toss people who are accused in jail. We're saying that if a woman comes forward and says that she's been sexually assaulted, we have to not doubt her. Because a lot of women don't come forward for this exact reason. They think that people will say they're lying, and this movement is supposed to empower women to come forward and say that, you know, there are people who are willing to take you seriously, not that we're just gonna find the guy and throw him in the gulag. That's not what it is. She says that liberals are hypocrites, even though that's not true. She equates the Brett Kavanaugh situation with the Joe Biden situation. There are a lot of liberals who don't really like Joe Biden, and even before he was even in the running to be president, there were memes that Joe Biden was a massive creep. Like, there's a GIF compilation out there of him, like, rubbing women's shoulders and, like, trying to kiss them. It's really weird. And, you know, when Tara Reid came forward and said that she had been sexually assaulted by Joe Biden, like, there are some people who are like, that didn't happen. You're just trying to ruin an election. But I think most rational people were willing to believe her. She's really taking an extreme example of people not believing her and saying that that's everybody, when it clearly isn't. Oh, we actually caught Miss Abigail in a lie. She says that, you know, a lot of women, they lie about sexual assault. Women are liars, which implies that she, being a woman, is also a liar, but we're gonna go past that. Oh, so many women lie about sexual assault, we just shouldn't believe them at all. When And she says that she doesn't want to bring up statistics about women lying.
I'm not trying to come up with statistics of how many women have lied, but there is always a chance that women will lie.
And the reason she doesn't want to bring up statistics about women lying is that the statistics are actively against what she is saying. I'll put it up on screen here. You can see the ratio of sexual assaults that are reported and turned out to be true, and the ratio of sexual assaults that are reported and turned out to be false. And the true ones, there's so many true ones and not that many false ones. So she's just straight up lying. Like, I know I said before that she's lying, but now she's like really lying. She's like lying. Like, I don't even know how to say it. Like, she's just a liar. That's really it. She's just a liar. And she says the lack of due process is never how America has worked, with her entire chest, even though there are so many people, usually people of color, who are in prison for crimes they didn't commit. And it takes people like Kim Kardashian, a freaking celebrity, to get them out of prison because there is something wrong with the prison system. Abby, I don't know how you can say that the lack of due process is never how America has worked, when the lack of due process is the only way America has worked. Like, okay, I won't say the only way, but for people like me, people of color, it's the primary way that America has worked, the lack of due process. And you know, it really shows how privileged you are, Abigail, Shapiro, and or Roth, that you can say something like that, because maybe you even truly believe it, because that is just how your life has gone, but that's not how my life has gone. That's not how a lot of people's lives have gone. Like, America has failed so many people in such a bad way that I really don't know how you can sit here and defend it with your whole chest. Like, that's something ain't right, ma'am. Like, I know you just kind of want to ride off your brother's coattails, but maybe come up with some more interesting false points, because the ones you're saying here, it's just, okay, we've heard it before, it's boring. Like, come up with something original. And that is the final video of Abigail's that I have. She's been getting a fair amount of backlash on her videos. As I've showed you before, the like to dislike ratio always busted. Her comments always making fun of her. I have some favorites. I will show them. I forgot which video it was on. I will put that on screen once I find it. But her comments are always just a joy to read. There are people out there who think like Miss Abby and her brother Ben, and you know, it's good to see that a lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people don't think these harmful things, and that a lot of people aren't liars, you know? And a lot of people can see through all of that, and that's honestly comforting. The one video that I did watch of hers that I downloaded is the 17-minute one about why she'll never take the pill again. And the reason she probably gives is that, you know, children are a blessing. I'm married and I should have children. God calls me to have children. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but I'm not gonna waste my time on that video, waste my blood pressure going up on it. So if you wanna watch it, cool, go off. I'm not gonna link any of her videos down below. I don't want anybody seeing the just garbage that she is flowing freely out of her mouth. Like, I mean, if you want to seek it out, go off, but you're probably also having these videos advertised to you, so you kind of don't have a choice anyways. But what can I say in conclusion other than she's just out here making bad points, and she's paying to have those bad points shown to the entirety of YouTube. And you know what, I'm kind of sick of it. Like, if you see Classically Abby being advertised on your homepage, your recommendeds, like anywhere, just block her channel. Just block her channel. Simple, easy. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna block her channel. I really don't want to see her ads anymore. Really, that's all I have to say. You can follow me on Twitter. You can donate to my Ko-fi if you want. Female Ben Shapiro is out here wilding. Oh my god.
I wonder if you know that I know he's lying right now. Oh, you got the new Margellas? That's what's up, that's what's up. I see you. That's your BMW? That's nice. That's your girl? Golly. Okay, I see you. But I just want to know one thing. You ready? Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god. Stop fucking lying. Always lying. Every time you tell me something, I figure that you're lying. Ooh, it's almost like you faking. Oh yeah, yeah, I know you're lying, but you sound excited, and you know that I know that you're lying. Oh girl,